We are Team 15 working with 3 given programs to implement coordinately at the Kievsky Station, a waste processing center, a media broadcasting space, and a theater school. The Kievsky Station is part of a bigger transportation network in Moscow, which not only connects the city with the rest of the country, but also forms vivid intersections within the capital. These are easily accessible places due to the high number of possible connections, from train to bus or from metro to taxi. In the future, this will surely change, but this intersection and easy accessibility will always stay. Our common strategy is to work around the edges of the station in order to increase its permeability in all directions. We will not intervene architecturally at the Schuhof platform hall, but it will be the shared common space between our 3 interventions as a public space. Yet, we'll be respectful with the rich cultural heritage of the entire building. Our interventions have as objective a mobility based on people, but which transcend other dimensions, ecological, informative, and cultural, aspiring for the station to evolve from a mere intersection to also a place to stay and enjoy.
Considering the places with the greatest influx in the surroundings of the Kievsky Station, such as the large commercial areas and the markets, a varied collection system is proposed, which allows recycling at source from anywhere in the neighborhood. On top of the neoclassical building, the recycling center rises up with a local-scale strategy. Receive the waste by direct access to the tipping deposits from the collectors. A series of conveyors, belts, and robotic arms separate the various wastes that can be recovered from those that cannot. A glass facade allows visitors to observe the recycling process, revealing the growing interest of Muscovites in achieving the goal of zero waste. The highly degradable organic matter is conducted on a conveyor belt to the intensive composting center, where it is confined to decomposition and maturation processes in a series of tunnels. Only the rest fraction of those materials that cannot be reused or recovered are taken to a fully buried incinerator, where the energy is recovered and used in the intervention and the vicinity. The recovered materials that were stored are loaded in a hyper-speed rail to be delivered to recovery plants, industries, and farmers. Hyper-intensive vertical horticulture and agri-food laboratories complete the proposal. The station becomes a hyper-connected node that during the night, at the end of the passenger use, sends the materials to the processing industries using the circular line of the metro. The station jetty becomes an attractor to stay there and become a place where inhabitants and tourists share experiences and socialize.
My project focuses on the informational dimension through a media broadcasting program based on 2 factors: hyperconnectivity and the duality between what is visible and what is not. Firstly, hyperconnectivity finds a strategic point in the station and its surroundings, since the Moscow Metro is the largest public city network that gathers people and offers free Wi-Fi, that also represents a virtual gathering of data and information. Secondly, what is visible and what is invisible is based on 3 binomials. The first one relates to the abstract character of data as opposed to people, the second one to the existence of mysterious secret metro lines, and the third one to a divided programmatic distribution, one part being superficial and the other one remaining underground. The project looks for both the informational permeability of the station on the surface and the living possibilities offered underground, thanks to its direct connection with the adjoining public surroundings, where some spaces are public, others private, and some are still secret. In this way, the station becomes a digital hotspot, rethinking the limits of physical mobility versus virtual mobility. It no longer is a mere interchange, but a data and information epicenter at multiple levels: the station itself, Moscow, Russia, and even the rest of the world.
Russia, and especially its capital, has always been an important center of classical art and culture. Some of the world's greatest pieces of literature, music, ballet, and operas came to life in Moscow with its architecture as background. Even after the revolution, Stalin used a neoclassical style as a tool to promote the socialist ideals in public buildings. Compared to the grey residential areas, these luxury train and metro stations are part of the Russian cultural heritage. This kind of architecture is in fact containing the most important transportation hubs of the city. These hubs are ideal places to connect the rich cultural heritage with the people that are already there. forming a new open and public cultural space. The elongated space between the Kievsky Station and the shopping mall will be used to place a theater school and create a public space with qualities of an ancient Greek agora and the Las Vegas Strip. The theater will turn towards the station, using the rich facade composition as a stage. In order to connect this cultural heritage building with the project, the north part of the station and the metro platforms underneath are then analyzed through its details on every surface. The different densities of details will determine the optimum parts of the station for the project. Another connection of the project with the rich pre-existence is done through materiality, exploring new ways where materiality can trick the eye of the users. With the Venetian technique of scagliola, we can imitate marble with a moldable material that can capture ephemeral forms affected, for example, by the forces of gravity.
These three programs will be coordinated affecting the borders of the Kievsky Station, increasing its permeability and providing this new perspective on future mobility.